Towards the end of the first half, the opposing team went on a run and took a lead. They came back and they just continued to build on that. What was it about their offense that you guys couldn't defend?
Like you said, going back to the end of the first half, the last 2 minutes, we speak about getting fatigue and having turnovers. And when you turn the basketball over and you allow a team to score in the open court, it's an easy layup. And I think they got a lot of those. So then that put them up 8. So we start back. Let's rewind. So we're up 8. They go on a little run. They tie the game. We get down to about 2 minutes left in the second quarter. We have 3 to 4 back-to-back turnovers. That puts them out in the open court. So now you got 3 to 4 layups right there. Boom, boom, boom. So now you're up 8 points. So now we go into halftime. You're okay. You understand that kids and people get fatigued. So now you go out. The first minute or two of the third quarter is always one of the most important parts of the basketball game. Either we've got to make a run, and it can be a short run, a 4-0 run, or on our end, that puts the game us down 4. It gives a different little pressure. They go on a 4-0 run, which they did. We call a timeout, I believe. So now they're up 12. So we've got to come back and respond from that timeout. We don't do that. They go back on another mini run, 6-0 run. So now you're getting up 18. So at that point in time, when we're going back and forth, it balances itself out. Now the lead is already up to 20. No matter what we do, it's going to always look like they're dominant. They're a well-coached team, really good players as well, so not taking any credit away from them. They did what they had to do. You know what I mean? Like, if we flip it, I'm sure he's saying to his kids right now, great job, guys. We went on a run. We did what we needed to do. Vice versa, we didn't go on a run. We didn't stop it defensively.
You talked about turnovers. I don't recall if they were forced turnovers or not, but in the case of turnovers, how do you prevent those next time? Do you guys need to slow down your pace and kind of focus more on the offensive end, or is it just something that they played so well, like their defense played that well?
You know, when turnovers are forced, first of all, my philosophy is I want to attract 2 people. If I get 2 people, that means someone is open. That's an elementary pass. You've got to be able to make that pass. So, you know, I'm going to live with that. And that's a learning lesson. You know, this is a great team. What is it, January 5th right now? So if we can learn from this right now by accepting the double team, accepting the pressure, then I'm going to be okay with that, you know. And sometimes you got to get a good butt whooping. You know, you got to get – the rod can't be spared to you. You've got to get it. And that's all that is. So we'll go home. We'll go watch the film. We'll learn from it. We've got 2. Now what do? It's simple, elementary for anybody that's played basketball. You get 2 people. Now you go to a pullback dribble. You make the simple pass. The person that does not have the ball, he's got to flash and make himself available. We didn't do those things. And then what did they do well? They shot the passing lane well. Or as coaches, we talk about getting deflections. If I deflect it, it allows the ball to get loose a little bit. Then you get a steal out of it.
Unfortunate loss tonight overall. This is your second straight loss, and both games are pretty big marginals. Clovis West, you guys lost 42-87, and tonight you guys lose 73-52. What can each one of you learn from tonight's loss moving on?
So I'll move it to them after this. Like, you know, as a coach, every loss is a learning lesson, right? You think about the season. It's a long season. You mentioned, we got beat by 40, got beat by 20 today. If we're able to end up where we want, we have goals at the end of the season. If we're able to end up where we want, no one remembers these losses. We just remember them as strictly learning lessons. So we're okay with the loss if we learn from it. I'll pass it to one of the guys and let them answer that. Answer that same question.
Go ahead.
I feel like a loss, it could teach us what we need to work on and stuff like that, and it will help us to work on our plays and stuff like that, make us a better team, and come out with more effort and energy.
Going back to Warren was said, saying all we got to do is just have more effort and play with like a tough mentality, like, oh, you're not going to pass me. And with these losses, I think we'll learn much more and we'll grow together as a family and a team.
Guys, let me focus on the positives today. You guys did keep up with this team pretty much the first half of the game. So what positives do you guys take from this game that you can carry on to the next one?
I think some positives from this loss we had today, one of them was like we see flashes of ourselves in the first quarter, how we could run our offense and we could really score the ball, and that'll really help us in the future.
You mentioned being able to see that you guys can run the ball successfully. So how do you continue to do that throughout the whole game next time, as opposed to kind of falling short midway?
I think we can continue on doing that like through the full game. It's all about effort. Like some of my guys like don't really give that much effort, and that's like the problem with our team. And I feel like we'll fix that later on.
Looking ahead, you guys got Liberty next. They're 8-7 and 1-0 on the season, and they're actually playing in this next game. Do you plan to stick around and watch that one?
Excuse me, can you say that again?
Liberty is playing in this next game. Do you plan to stick around and watch that one?
We'll probably watch half of it.
No, we don't plan to stick around. As coaches, we make sacrifices, and the reason I don't plan to stick around today is because it's my daughter's birthday. So, and we live in Bakersfield, California, so that's the only reason. But we'll get the film on these guys and everything, so no knock to Liberty at all. But, shout out my daughter. It's her birthday, Alexis. Is 16 years old. So, no, today we won't stay, but we're looking forward to play a nice, feisty Liberty basketball team. I think it's pretty well known. They probably have the best basketball player within our area in Bakersfield, in Isaiah Hill. So it's a lot to prep for. We played them earlier in the year, and we were down 2 of our players. So you asked Brian the question, how do we find ourselves more in spurts to be able to run our offense? I think today's a good day forward in that. I think we watched the film, and then I think we look at those positives that you mentioned, and then we take those into the Liberty game before we start league against a really nice, chippy, well-coached North High team. And I think that's how we get right back on the right railroad. So, I wouldn't trade my guys in for nothing. Hopefully we get to see Pacifica again. They're in the same division, which means we've got to handle our business, make it to state. They've got to take care of business, which I think they can because they were without their best player as well tonight, and they still kicked our butt. So hopefully we're able to get a rematch with those guys, and hopefully it's another game. It's a different game.
Brian, this one, or either one, it doesn't matter. Brian, you did talk about effort, and some players may be lacking the effort. How do you guys get them on board with the energy and being a little bit more positive and showing that effort on the court?
It's really about being a captain on the floor and telling our players that we need more effort and we need to work as a team. And if we get that, we will be a better team. We can win league. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, guys, thank you.